here today playtesting the Nike GP Challenge 1. Let's go hit.
I was really excited to get to try these Nike GP Challenge 1s because I'd always heard how great the cushioning is in the GP Turbo, and as soon as I got these Challenge 1s on my feet, I could feel that cushioning underfoot. It felt really bouncy, especially that first time on court. I felt like I was just bouncing along. And I also was happy to find that the fit was a little bit more true to medium than some other Nike shoes that tend to fit my wider feet rather narrow. I did have one issue with the plastic structure here that offers loads of support. If I wore too thin of socks, I could really feel that piece coming up against the side of my foot, so I like to wear at least medium cushioned socks to protect the sides of my feet. One issue I did have as the playtest wore on was that the protection on the toe, I could really feel it on hard stops. As I was wearing these shoes on court, I also did notice that they were offering lots of traction on the court. There were a couple instances where I wanted a little bit more give, but I did always feel that I was nice and secure and was not going to tip over in these shoes despite their level of cushioning. And despite that level of cushioning, I did find these shoes to run a little bit warm. That's not an issue though, you really just change out your socks after I was done playing. Overall, I found these shoes to be very comfortable underfoot. I liked the level of cushioning. The only issues that I really did run into was the hardness of the toe cap.
I was lucky enough to be one of the playtesters on the GP Turbo, and it quickly became one of my favorite shoes. I even have a couple stashed in my drawer for special occasions. So when I got this GP Challenge 1 shoebox on my desk, I couldn't wait to open it up. And first thing I noticed was that I was a big fan of this cosmetic. I love this premium colorway, the colors they offered, as well as all the fun little details on the shoe. And now the next important thing for me is the fit. So immediately got these shoes on my feet, and I found that they offered a medium width. I was actually expecting a little bit more because I know Nike had mentioned it might be a little bit on a more wider fit. However, I have narrow width feet, and I thought the medium was perfect for me. When it came to length, I found that my feet were getting close to the edge of the shoe, but I was comfortable with how they were. I think if you're in between sizes, I would recommend sizing up a half size. And now when it came to arch support, not a lot of tennis shoes I can feel the arch in, and these I did definitely feel it a little bit, and especially on my left foot for whatever reason, and I thought it was maybe a little bit forward, and this caused some soreness for me throughout the play test. Now for me, I thought the cushioning underfoot, like Tiffany said, was very plush and bouncy right at the beginning, kind of not as much as maybe the GP Turbo, but enough for me to be satisfied. As this play test wore on, I did find that it did compress a little bit and became a little bit firmer towards about 10 hours of the play test. Now when it came to support and stability, I was looking for just a little bit more of a locked in feel. For me, there wasn't an extra eyelet for me to utilize, so I found my foot was moving kind of forwards and backwards in the shoe when I was making aggressive movements, and the toe bumper is a little bit on the harder side, so there was some times I did get some toe jam. With that cushioning, you are sitting up a little bit higher in the shoe, so it's not as low as connected to the ground as I would like. And then when it came to durability, I took a quick peek at my shoes right before this, and I have no wear, so I thought that the durability was excellent on these shoes. Overall, these won't replace the GP Turbos for me, but they offer great cushioning and durability.
Nike has this way of creating these iconic tennis shoes in their lineup, and once they're gone, but that leaves us nostalgic for that feeling. And that's kind of what is happening in this GP Challenge 1. It's not going to be exactly like that GP Turbo, but it is a good evolution of that shoe, and I think it does some things really well, and it's coming from that bouncy GP Turbo that we all fell in love with. For me, this shoe feels more streamlined and a bit quicker. I feel like I'm on my toes better than I was with the GP Turbo. I also feel faster. The GP Turbo was nice and bouncy, but I kind of sunk into that shoe, while this one I feel like I can explode into the next step a little bit better. As the other playtesters mentioned, the sizing is slightly interesting. I felt like I could size up a half size. However, when I play competitive or high level tennis, I like my laces super snug and I pull them super tight. So with that being said, I opted to stay in my true size, and I would not go up a half size. I liked them just as is. and as the others mentioned, also on width, I was expecting it to be wider as well, but luckily it's not too wide. It fit my medium width feet perfectly. As far as traction, I'm the playtester on the team that likes something a little stickier, so I had no issues. I'm not looking to slide on hard courts. And the durability, as everyone has mentioned, was top notch, very durable option. Plus, they look very stylish. So all in all, I'm enjoying this update. Is it gonna replace your GP Turbo? Not exactly, but it is a good evolution of that shoe with the air unit underneath. You're really gonna feel that bounciness when you get it on your feet. Now that wraps up what we had to say in California. Let's go check out what our playtest team in Georgia had to say about the GP Challenge 1. Jofi, how'd it work out for you?
Thanks, Michelle. When I first looked at the GP Challenge 1, I thought they truly resembled the old GP Turbos, which I know they were fan favorites, but I think this GP Challenge 1 will absolutely live up to that hype. Nike has a reputation for making narrower fitting shoes, and I know that many customers are looking for that wider fitting shoe option from Nike, and they've been waiting for a long time, but luckily this GP Challenge 1 actually fits wider. When it comes to comfort levels, I thought the shoe was top-notch. I put them on and right away I had 0 pressure points. I really enjoyed how comfortable the heel cushioning was and also how padded the tongue was. I will say that the tongue moved around a bit during the playtest, just something to note there. But overall, very nice, comfortable upper, super great heel cushioning as well. So comfort levels, great. I definitely enjoyed the double Zoom Air units underfoot as well. Durability-wise, absolutely top-notch. I barely saw any wear on the outsole. The outsole is pretty thick, so I think it will take definitely a long amount of time to wear them down. Traction levels were great, but I would say almost a bit too good for me. I generally prefer shoes that allow me to slide out of my shots a little bit, and so I can adjust out of my shots a little. I would say the outsole needed definitely a few hours to break it in and to allow me that little adjustments in my steps. But after a few hours, traction levels became definitely much better. Another thing I had to get used to is just how low the ankle support was. I was kind of missing that support around my heels and ankles because relative to the thickness of the outsole, the ankle support is pretty low. And that combined with the stickier traction levels caused me to feel a bit more hesitant when it comes to stopping and changing directions. So overall, this lower ankle support and the thicker outsole combined with the stickiness of the outsole kind of made me feel disconnected from the ground. Generally speaking, I prefer shoes that allow me to feel a bit more connected to the ground so I know where I'm stepping. But all of these factors combined made me feel a bit hesitant to stop quickly and change directions. So that's just something to keep in mind for players that are requiring a bit more ankle support. Overall, fans of the old GP Turbo and maybe even the Zoom Zero will definitely enjoy this new GP Challenge 1. Thank you for watching. For more information on this shoe or any others, please go check out Tennis Warehouse Europe, or Tennis Only.